Right, so I'm going to talk to you guys real quick about the best primer for the money. Not just the money, it's one of the best primers, period. This is Tamco's 5310. This is their Galva Prime DTM. Man, I'm telling you, this here, if you want a good DTM primer that's inexpensive, I think this is around $100 a kit, which is super cheap for a high quality primer like this. This should be $200, but Tamco's all about trying to help keep the price of things down so that you guys can, enjoy your hobby, not be just paying all your money out of your pocket. So all you hobbyists out there, this may not, check the VOC compliance for your area, but a lot of places, if you're just a DIY guy buying a gallon or two here and there, it might be available for you. So, don't be afraid to give it a shot. I'm going to tell you, let me tell you some about some of the things that it did for me. I noticed when I sanded with it, it sanded super fast. If any of you guys are old school guys that ever use the old lacquer primer, not the new garbage, but the old lacquer primer that had better solids and had a lot better sand, it didn't just flake off when you try to sand it. You could actually build with it. You can put nice heavy coats on. This is more like that product. I'm not going to say to just bury the stuff on super heavy like you do with polyester primer, but it will weather several coats, of thickness. So, check the label. Make sure you're doing it the way it's supposed to be done. But I'm going to tell you, I put on about 3 coats of this stuff, and man, it sure did a great job of leveling the product down smooth, leveling the area down smooth. Sanded like super fast, really easy to sand. And the other thing that was it sprayed really nice. It went down really smooth. It didn't want to run really easily, but it also didn't want a dry spot. So it, for a primer, it went down almost like a good quality paint. So it, but went down really thick like primer does. And the other thing I noticed is when I sanded, if you use some of the cheaper DTM urethane primers, you'll notice that when you sand them, that they might powder up really good, but then it seems to not. It doesn't load on your sandpaper like it doesn't start to, like it's not dry, where it starts to make the balls on your sandpaper. It doesn't. They may not do that, but it doesn't want to release from your sandpaper. So it's like you sand, and it's kind of like the cheaper primers when you use them and they do that and they sand, and it kind of the powder, the action of the sandpaper, makes it so that that it doesn't want to keep sanding. It doesn't want to release from the sandpaper, even though it's not wet, it's not or anything like that. Some of the primers do that. This primer, it just powders and falls right off the sandpaper, so your sandpaper lasts longer. And levels really nice. Dieback, there really wasn't any issues with dieback, nothing like that. It didn't have any shrinkage problems after you paint over it. In fact, you just don't have any. There's no like if you use the cheaper lacquer primer, you'll get that mapping. When you're done, you'll get a couple days go by, you look at where your body work was done, or if you spot primed areas, you're going to see that edge. You just see the kind of like it doesn't look quite as shiny in those areas, even though the paint's covered and everything's smooth. That's called dieback or shrinkage. This primer doesn't really have that problem at all. So, I'm going to tell you guys, for the price that they charge for this, it's worth it to order a couple gallons and just have them there. If you're doing little stuff, even if it goes bad, you're not going to lose on it, because it's a real, if you let it sit there a whole year or something, you only use a quart of it. It's much less expensive than the really good primers that are out there, and it's absolutely top quality. It's not a shortcut or anything like that. This is just a good deal. All right, so if you want a good deal on primer, give these guys a call. They have a website. and she has a cell phone if you have any questions. There's forums on their products that they have on Facebook, and and things like that to help you if you have any issues that you're trying to work out or something. Usually it's a user problem, guys. It's not usually the product. In fact, it's never been the product. It's always somebody doing something wrong, putting on too many coats at once. Got to let it dry between coats like normal things. Read the label, make sure you're doing it the right way. But they have those kind of forums, and they want to help you make sure you're doing your jobs and get a good job down, and they really are out there to try and help the small guy and get you ahead. So talk to you in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe.